Strange Twin Peaks Rewatch podcast. I'm Nick.
And I'm Kim.
And I do have some form of news.
Yes, so do I.
Okay, so my one is that X-Files reboot that's been banding around.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone official.
Oh, cool.
So it's coming from Ryan Coogler. There's a whole thing about how he's been writing it. It sounds like it's going to be a sequel series rather than a full reboot.
Okay.
As in a talk about a long-shuttered department that people are taking over again. That sounds a lot like we're going to pick up after the
and also leave your possibility for cameos then as well.
But Daniel Deadwyler, who is rumoured to star, is going to be the star.
Okay.
He's working on it. It's going to be on Hulu. And we don't know any further updates on that. So yeah, it's definitely, it's more official than it has been. Oh, the only minor thing that might give you pause is Chris Carter is producing it.
I'm out.
He's not writing it, or executive producing it. But executive producing
is fine.
That can mean so many things.
That can literally just be having your name on it.
Yeah, so it might be okay. Anyway, what was your news?
Well, first I'm going to just apologise for my huskiness today. If you have been listening to my streams lately, you'll know that I've been absolutely full of like a coldy chest infection sort of thing. So you might be able to tell the fact that I can hardly breathe. But anyway, it was Twin Peaks Day last week.
Oh, yes.
So the 25th of February, 11:30am, I am just arriving in a town called Twin Peaks.
Ah, yes.
Yep, it's Twin Peaks Day. So there has been loads of stuff over the socials with people sharing their memories, their favourite episodes. There was an Ask Me Anything with Carl McLaughlin on Reddit as well, which was kind of fun. I do have a few tidbits from that for you. But also, Kyle's big announcement was that he's releasing his autobiography, which is coming out, at least according to Blackwell of London, on, the 10th of September this year. It's called Fictional Selves. And, Kyle is just an amazing human being. If you don't follow him on Instagram, you should follow him on Instagram because he's hilarious. But he just seems to be the nicest human being on the planet, and he still very much loves Twin Peaks and largely posits that Cooper is the favourite role he's ever played.
Cool.
So, would you like a few little tidbits from Ask Me Anything with Carl McLaughlin?
Go on.
Which I did actually put some questions on, but he didn't answer any of mine. But anyway, so Myths TCG013 asked him, how connected do you feel to Agent Cooper as a character you've been with so long? Do you see some part of yourself in him or vice versa? Have you developed some of his mannerisms? I apologise, this isn't a very unique question. To which Kyle replied, he's my fave and I love my coffee the same way. Kyle, my boyfriend and I recently got to watch Twin Peaks. This is Lisa Fishy asking, and of course that has led me down a deep rabbit hole, lol. But I still need to know if those donuts were as good as they looked, because every scene that had donuts led me to buying and consuming so many donuts. But I also want to know if you got to keep any costume pieces or props from the show. If not, were there any you wanted to keep? Which I thought was actually a really good question, to be fair. The donuts were amazing and I ate way too many. Maple Bar is my favourite. As far as the costumes and prop, besides those few pieces of vertical grain Douglas fir that I snuck into my suitcase, I didn't keep much, but I really wish I kept the tape recorder so I could still talk to Diane. And of course the black suit. Believe it or not, we only had two that we rotated between, until episode 9 of the second season when sprinklers went off and shrunk the suit. Or maybe it was those donuts.
This is honest.
And the last one I photocopied, because I do quite like his explanation, was Farmer Eldritch asked, how well do you feel that you understood what was going on in Twin Peaks overall? To which Kyle replied, it's a true crime story that takes place in a rural coastal North Carolina town of 300. Lots of cocaine, kush, a sprinkle of Pablo Escobar, and an organic soap tycoon with a story to tell. What more could you ask for?
Is it really coastal?
According to that post.
I was going to say, I don't think we see much of the docks in Twin Peaks, to be fair. There's a what looks like a shoreline or a river, but
I thought they were the most fun
they're
questions
okay.
Reading down it.
That's all very nice. So I suppose we should talk about Realization Time. Directed by Caleb Deschanel, and written by Harley Payton, and first broadcast on the 17th of May 1990. So, I've done the last of the actual regular cast, and we're going to get on to the regular cast, but not in the title sequence people, because most of the rest of them are in every episode anyway, so I'm not sure where the dividing line falls on Twin Peaks. So we've got Ray Wise as Leyland Palmer, who has done far too much. We've only seen a small snapshot of it, but he's been in loads of stuff. Like RoboCop.
Yeah, he is.
Firewalk with Me, obviously. Jeepers Creepers 2,
Yes, he is.
X-Men First Class.
No, I can't picture him in that one.
He was a government or a military person. I can't remember in there either.
Okay.
Atlas Shrugged Part 2. It's his own fault. This one was kind of interesting, though. Batman the Killing Joke, where he was Commissioner Gordon.
Oh, cool.
In the animated version.
Yeah, the animated one.
He's been in Star Trek Next Generation and Voyager. Castle, for one episode.
Okay.
The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And the surprising one is Command and Conquer Riddler 2 and Yuri's Revenge.
Fair enough.
Joan Chen is Josie Packard, who we haven't seen a lot of, but she made it into Firewalk with Me and then got deleted.
Oh.
So we'll get to see her when we do the second phase of Firewalk with Me. She was in Judge Dredd, the Stallone version.
Oh no.
She also directed a fair number of films, but we've never seen any of those. And lastly, and sadly not with us anymore, is Piper Laurie, who died in 2023.
Oh, did she? Oh no.
Yeah, unfortunately. Who played Catherine Martell. Her role that kind of just overwhelms everything else is,
Carrie.
Of course, Carrie, yes. She was also in Return to Oz.
Yes, she was. You're right.
The Faculty.
Yep, she was.
And she was on Frasier twice.
Was she on Frasier?
So the first time she was a caller, so it was only voice.
Okay.
The second time you should remember because she stole the episode.
Oh, is it the mom?
The mother of the really terrible other radio psychiatrist.
Yeah, I remember.
Who they bring in thinking to reunite them, and then it turns into a screaming match.
It's someone like Joanna Lumley's mother, isn't it? Or someone
Not
like
Joanna Lumley, it's the woman from Bowfinger.
Oh, yes, I know the one you mean.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but that's her. And she was in Dead Like Me.
Oh, yes, I remember. Do you want me to do the log ladies bit first?
Yeah, do the log.
While you're looking up a synopsis, since you thought it was me. But I did the last one, so I can save my voice. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, yet there are those who open many eyes. Eyes are the mirror of the soul, someone has said. So we look closely at the eyes to see the nature of the soul. Sometimes, when we see the eyes, those horrible times when we see the eyes that have no soul, then we know a darkness. Then we wonder, where is the beauty? There is none if the eyes are soulless.
Thank you, Margaret. So, picking up from last time, Cooper gently rejects Audrey's advances, stating that while she is very desirable, she needs a friend more than anything. He says he will get food, she will put on her clothes, and then she will tell him all her troubles. Audrey tells Cooper that Laura had a lot of secrets. Andy enters the sheriff's station and tries to talk to Lucy, but she brushes him off. She then talks privately on the phone with her doctor, and Cooper, when he arrives, comments that he thought Lucy was out sick the previous day. This is set up for something. Doc Hayward and Harry study Waldo the bird, and Hayward says it will start talking once it is healthy. The forensic report states that Laura Palmer, Renette Pulaski, and Leo Johnson all visited Jack's cabin, and there's a picture of Waldo on Laura's shoulder. Cooper leaves his voice recorder next to the bird and wants to visit One-Eyed Jack's, but is over the border, so he suggests sending the Bookhouse Boys. Bobby goes to the Johnsons' house while Leo watches from afar and sees him embracing Shelley. He takes out his rifle, but is unable to get off a shot before Bobby enters the house. Shelley explains to Bobby about how she shot Leo and says that he knows he is out there watching her. Bobby pledges to take care of her, and Leo gets back into his car as he listens to a police broadcast of Lucy talking about Waldo and drives away. James, Donna, and Maddie listen to Laura's tape recording for Jacoby, which is very flirtatious. There's an empty case labelled the date of Laura's death, and James says he will find the tape of that night in Jacoby's office. At Horn's apartment store, Audrey spies on a meeting between her boss and one of her colleagues. Her boss tells her colleague Jenny that there are people at One-Eyed Jack's who want to employ her there, and that she will perhaps be a hospitality coordinator. After they leave, Audrey looks through the boss's black book and finds the names of many women written with hearts, including Renette Pulaski. Audrey takes a silver unicorn that her boss gave to Jenny. At the Double R Diner, Hank tells Shelley about his time in prison and gets information about who has been around. Harry and Cooper warn Hank that he is on parole and must be careful. Shelley offers the officers coffee, and Cooper tells Harry to give himself a present once a day, every day, in this case being the coffee. Audrey gets the phone number that her boss gave to Jenny for the Black Rose to be considered for employment at One-Eyed Jack's. On Invitation to Love, Chet shoots Montana and Nadine cheers him on. Ed comes to console her after her patent was denied. She lists all the things she was going to get for them, and Ed tells her not to give up. Truman asks Josie why she was at Timber Falls Motel, and she confesses she was spying on Catherine and Ben to get the evidence that Truman said she needed previously. She says she heard Catherine talking about an accidental fire at the mill, and that she will not let it happen. Cooper meets with Harry and Ed and shows them the $10,000 of bureau money he has acquired for gambling. Harry tells Cooper about what Josie told him, and Cooper agrees to look into it, and Audrey enters just missing him. Insurance agent Neff talks to Catherine about signing an updated policy warning her that changes will take effect at midnight tonight. He says he was approached by Ben Horn and Josie. Catherine says that she will discuss the policy with her lawyer and return it later. She discovers that her second book is now missing from her secret hiding place. Audrey leaves Cooper a note as a new guest checks into the hotel. At the station house, the various members of the Twin Peaks police force and Cooper play with bugs and disguises. Alone in the conference room, Waldo begins to speak, saying Laura. A gunshot fires and breaks a picture. Leo runs through the rain to his truck, while the bird bleeds all over a pile of donuts, and Cooper listens to the recorded voice of the bird saying, "Hurting me, stop it, Leo, no." The offers go to One-Eyed Jack, and Cooper suggests that Jax is dealing in the back. Blackie introduces herself and thinks that Ed looks like a cop. The pair go towards the casino. Madeline sneaks out of the house, while Leland watches her leaves. Maddie, then wearing a blonde wig, along with Donna, picks up James. The Icelandic investors sing to Ben, who suggests that Jerry take them to the dining room. He then asks when they will sign the contract, and Jerry says they want a visit to One-Eyed Jack's. Ben then calls Josie to ask where Catherine is, and she says she will get Catherine to the mill. Hank is with Josie at the time. Audrey goes to interview with Blackie and hands her a resume using the alias Hester Prime. Blackie quickly determines it is a fake, and to convince her to hire her, Audrey ties a cherry stem in a knot in her mouth. Blackie agrees to keep her around. As Cooper cleans up at the blackjack table, Jax begins the deal. Dr. Jacoby is watching Invitation to Love when James, Maddie, and Donna call him. Maddie, personifying Laura, tells him to go to the door, and he brings a derringer with him. There's an envelope with a video cassette waiting for him. The video shows Maddie disguises Laura, purporting to actually be her, with a day's paper. She instructs Jacoby to meet her at a specific address in 10 minutes' time. Jacoby looks at the videotape and determines that she is at the gazebo. Bobby spies on them through the bushes while someone else spies on Bobby. When Jacoby leaves, James and Donna enter his house. Bobby watches and puts a white package into James's bike. Someone else spies on Maddie by the gazebo.
Thank you.
There's one thought that's been rattling through my head since you watched this episode.
Okay.
Why is Ed going on the sting? Aside from being a Bookhouse Boy.
He's a Bookhouse Boy, yeah.
However, he thinks Jacques Renault drugged him in the pilot episode.
Well, that's why he turns away when Jock comes to the blackjack table.
But it's still a risk, isn't it? You've gone into an area where you don't know where Jacques is to avoid him. And it's by sheer chance that Jacques doesn't look at him when he arrives.
Oh, but the sheer joy on Big Ed's face when he's given the money to and just told go and have fun.
I know. I think they realised far too late in the episode that it's like that. Wait, Ed should not be doing this.
The two are acquainted.
Yes, a really terrible idea of spies.
Well, they put him in the glorious disguise of a curly wig.
And a moustache.
Well, Cooper wore Clark Kent glasses, so...
Yeah. He's completely unrecognisable. It's a fantastic transformation.
At least for Cooper, you have the excuse of he's an outsider and very few people would know him.
Yes, particularly not anyone at the casino.
Only just over a week has passed now, I think, in time-space of him being there.
So I say Cooper's not a problem. I understand why Truman's not doing it, but yeah, Ed is too recognisable. And it feels as well that we've forgotten that James is technically a member of the society.
Yeah.
And also, it's like, it's really odd that you have the start of Cooper telling to Audrey, he took an oath as an FBI agent not to do certain things, and that he can't possibly bring the reputation of the FBI into disrepute by dating a high schooler.
Because being an FBI agent is a lot like being a priest, apparently.
Yes. Again, this is the comment that Grimbeard made of Michigan Report from Hell, of how they seem to view the journalists in America is a lot how David Lynch viewed the FBI in Twin Peaks. It's a dream of a delusion of itself. It's not really like reality.
I think we did argue previously that Audrey is probably legal.
Yes, I think we found out that she was, as far as we could tell. Oh, she claims she is.
She claims she is, yeah.
Anyway, my point is, though, that's great of Cooper at the start. I understand exactly where he's coming from. You're not meant to go and sneak around with the sheriff's secret police. Let's use a term from Night Vale here. I mean, is that what Night Vale's actually nodding at? The sheriff's secret police?
It could well be.
Yeah. But, yeah. This is also going to bring the Bureau to disrepute if anyone asks, and you went where and you did what with who? He's a civilian. You just gave him $300.
You brought shame on the entire Bureau.
You gave him $300 of FBI money and he lost it. Which is not to say, it's not really a problem, it's just like the inherent contradictions that Twin Peaks just operates under. It's just so odd to see Cooper slide between extremes in one episode.
I think you just have to watch Twin Peaks under the understanding that you're in a parallel dimension.
Yes, this FBI does not resemble the real one. The X-Files, while also not, is better at it, but I think they've got a very pie-in-the-sky view of the FBI. It's more accurate, but it's not quite.
X-Files at least tries to do things like the hierarchy correctly, with the special agents answering to the directors and all the rest of it.
And also, it's the whole Mulder is stuck in a basement because he's weird. Like, Cooper doesn't seem to have any debilitating thing in the FBI. He seems to be absolutely fine. But he is functionally very similar to Mulder.
In fact, Cooper has some weird sway in the FBI, though, because people like Alfred seem to answer to him.
Yes, well, we had that discussion a while before when it's like Cooper, you have basically no authority in the organisation, and yet you somehow do.
Yeah. Who do you want to talk about first?
So we start with Audrey, given she's like the other character at the start of this episode. So
Audrey has a lot of plot in this.
She does, and she's also, her whole attitude keeps really seesawing backwards and forwards. I mean, it seemed like Out of the Blue last time with the seduction.
It should be noted that it's Peyton who wrote this episode, isn't it?
Yes.
Peyton did comment on the fact that he found some... I presume Peyton's male anyway.
I think Harley Peyton sounds like...
Harley can be a girl's name. I'm
No,
making an
assumption.
I might be assuming.
Look.
But they commented the fact that they found some characters a lot easier to gel with and write for than others. And Sherilyn Fenn, Audrey, is the one that they found easy to write for, apparently. Because they liked her because she's kind of smart and sexy. Whereas they commented the fact that they really struggled to make Cooper's dialogue sound authentic.
Okay. Harley is male, in this case.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, I wonder how much it is because you can just write Audrey in the mindset of a 50s femme fatale with a few tweaks to update her for being a high schooler. But it's like there's a rich history to pull on for someone like Audrey. Cooper is more singular and weirder to deal with.
It's weird, though, because him saying that he felt that his writing of Cooper is inauthentic, one of Cooper's all-time favourite quotes is in this episode.
Yes. We'll get
to it, but on that basis, I'd say they've nailed Coop.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it can be the kind of thing, though, where you don't feel you've done your best work and you're putting yourself down rather than anything else, or you struggle with this and you still got
Or you're worried that you're kind of caricaturing the character.
Yeah. So I can understand that to a point. But we have Audrey springs back from rejection into the whole, yep, I'm going to continue with my insane personal investigation of Laura Palmer's death. And she's really good at this, though. Sort of just picking up on like really subtle things like her boss asking the other girl at the counter to go and talk to him. And just, I didn't mention in the summary, but just tells that other guy outside the office, oh, there's a big bush crash outside. And that just is enough to just get him to leave his post.
Yeah.
You do kind of wonder, it's one of those, it's a good job everyone smokes in the series, because otherwise her taking a cigarette and smoking in the cupboard while spying should give her away.
It was a different time.
It was a very different time. Again, she's very good at being a chameleon. She's very good at getting what she needs. And just real subtle, like just stealing that unicorn as a way to sort of say, oh, I got the same thing. Oh, I dropped the card. Can I have the number that they gave us?
Yeah.
She's a very good operator.
She thinks quickly on her feet.
Yes.
Which is interesting as well because usually, stereotypically in series like this, she would have just been eye candy.
Yes.
So to make her eye candy and also highly intelligent and very quick-witted.
Yes, although she does seem to be waltzing right into the lion's den with possibly not entirely aware of what she's got herself into now.
I think it might be the whole she's bitten off more than she can chew. She's had a good run, but she doesn't quite realise what she's up against.
True. They're saying that, though, given that Blackie sees through her fake resume really fast, she knows exactly what to do to get herself the job. It's like that she has enough of idea of what's going on here.
To be fair, it was a bit of a weakness naming yourself after the protagonist of Scarlet Letter.
Yes. But I think that's meant to be the contrast to she's very quick-witted, but she's not worldly, I think is what they're going for.
She is just a teenager.
Exactly. So it's that'll be why. And versus Blackie, who presumably is late 30s-ish, has seen a lot and knows a lot more about how things work.
I can picture it in the fact that you're basically a kid you've read something in school and now you think you are the smartest because you've got this insight that no one else had to. I'm trying to think of books we read in school. Lord of the Flies. And just because you've used Piggy as an alias, no one would get the reference.
Yeah, not counting on these being like routinely notorious works of fiction
that virtually
famous.
Everyone has read.
Yeah, or been made to read. Admittedly, I haven't read The Scarlet Letter, but I'm aware enough of what it is. I have not, for whatever reason. But I do know just about what it is, and I know there was a more modern film version of it like a few years ago.
Yes, it wasn't that long
Easy
back.
A or something, I think it was. So yeah, I understand that, but she does at least understand enough of where she is, because tying a cherry stem with your tongue, yeah, you know what you're implying here.
Yeah, the cherry stem thing is neat. I believe from what I read, it came from a true story as well, because one of Peyton's friends, while he was writing this episode, demonstrated this trick at a dinner party, and he just thought, hey, yeah, I can use that, and took it straight from that. But the interesting fact is, Sherilyn Lynn in interviews following this was often asked how she did it, to which she had to reply, I can't.
It's blatantly editing. If you pay attention at all to the shots, it's no continuous thing, ample opportunity to do it.
However, Shelley's actress can.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So it is talent.
I don't doubt it is. But yeah, she knows that this is enough to overcome a problem. I do wonder if this was a backup plan in the back of her head, or this is a spur of the moment thing again.
I do like it for passing a job interview, though, it's like, why should I hire you? Because I can do this. Sold.
True, you've got to think of the slightly skeezy thing, the implications here, though, of why that's enough to get her a job in a brothel.
It would work.
It would work. I think we commented as well, it's when you sort of watch the episode through, you don't realise that basically suddenly everyone is running to One-Eyed Jacks. It's like Donna, Maddie, and James are like one of the few sets of characters who aren't going to go descend on the casino. Given we've got Ben and Jerry on the way, Cooper and Ed are there, Truman's just outside, Hawk's there, Audrey's there, and Jenny's there, we think.
I did read, I'm not going to share it now because we're trying not to spoil who the killer actually is for when we can discuss it, but some fans believe that this sequence with everyone converging on Jax is the first time that you can deduce who the killer is.
Yeah, you told me that earlier, and I can see where they're coming from. At the same time, there's a horrendous logic jump to make.
Yeah, I think I'm going to save it for when that's actually revealed in the series, and then we'll look back and see if we thought you could get it at this point from that.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to wreck it for everyone now who's listening and might be watching along and might not know who did it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Who should we do next?
If you're going in vague chronological order, do you want to move to Coop?
We can move to Coop. So Coop is he kind of feels like he wants to be James Bond a bit. The tuxedo and everything is definitely he would love a crack at that kind of thing.
Oh, when he's dressed to the nines to go to the casino.
Yeah. And also he's got it's nothing quite as elaborate as Bond. This is very much the early Daniel Craig stuff as Bond of. They've just got listening devices and fake mustaches.
But also his enthusiasm is, you can tell that even though I think it's illegal technically in America to gamble other than in certain places, Coop's super into this.
He very much is. Well, he makes that odd comment of whenever gambling with the Bureau's money, he likes to bring back 10 to 15%.
Which infers the fact that he does this often.
Yeah, and he's done it with the company's money, but also that he's so good at it, he can always win. I'm sure in the world of Twin Peaks he can, but in the real world you have to go for Ocean's 11 of the house always wins.
Maybe he's just super good at counting cards or something like that.
He probably is, and I think that's the kind of thing where that works for a bit, but the casino will rapidly catch on if you're doing this. They don't like you to win unless you're a high roller or something, and even then they're kind of dubious about it.
There must be some gambling games that aren't just pure chance. I'd say something like poker's got a skill to it.
It does, but even then they can still stop. They can still say you're not allowed to actually play anymore.
Yeah.
So it makes me think oddly of Grange Hill, of all things.
So, would you like to explain what Grange Hill is? Because I imagine a lot of our listeners are American.
That's true. Grange Hill was a children's soap opera set in I think it's fictitious high school. Grange Hill is a real tube stop. We've seen it on the maps. Never been there. And I don't know if there's a school there, but there's suddenly a fictitious school at Grange Hill, which has been in multiple iterations over the years. Mostly you hear it inferred by its original theme song, which is really iconic. Spaced made a big joke of that.
Do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it ended and they relaunched it in the 90s with a much more modern, much less memorable theme tune that I can't even begin to sing. The other part of this is there is an episode, at least, where they started in this new relaunch series letting the students get slightly older. So they actually do hit sixth form age at one point.
So sixth form in UK standards, again, to explain to America,
it's
a bit like being in college at...
No, actually, no, because America, they have to go up to 18 at school.
Okay. So in schools in the UK, to explain, you legally only have to attend them till you're 16. You can then attend what is called a sixth form college, which some high schools have built in and some have separate, which is for 17 to 18-year-olds. And then you move on to either university or vocational schools or that sort of thing.
Or just go and get a job.
Or just go and get a job, yeah.
Whatever you like it. So, but I think it's not until the reboot series actually let students get that old or carried them on to that point. The long-winded point of all this is there's an episode where the maths teacher, who's universally loathed by the younger students, takes one of his students to a casino in order to teach about probabilities.
Okay.
And she talks to him about it, and it's like he zeroes in on the games where he's got the best odds.
Yeah.
Because it's like some of them are more attractive. And I can't remember which ones he goes for, but he is specifically going for the ones where the odds are actually more in his favour than anything else. Or there's more mathematics to the odds than there would be in other games. So there you are.
I can tell you the fun story of I used to be allowed to play Baccarat with my sister as a kid because my mother believed it helped teach her maths.
I hate Baccarat.
But I was very into James Bond as a kid and I liked Baccarat. So therefore I would play it with my little sister to help her with her maths.
Ah. I find, just to decide, I find Baccarat absolutely inexplicable. It's like, Blackjack, I understand. Baccarat...
It's a bit like Blackjack.
It is. But Baccarat is a game where you can lose before you've done anything.
Oh, yes, you can.
That's what drives me insane. Like, Blackjack, it's your own fault. Baccarat is, you've been dealt a losing hand, you lose. What kind of game is this?
That's the challenge.
It's not a challenge. That's not even a challenge. There's no skill. That's pure luck. That's infuriating. I hate it. Anyway. So I don't think we knew before that Coop had a voice-activated setting on his tape recorder, though it makes sense. I think a lot of them do, actually. It's a useful little tool.
I've never seen one before. Well, I've never actually held one in my hands
before.
before.
Okay.
No, it's a dictaphone,
It's a
isn't
dictaphone.
it, really?
I think they sort of vary in terms of the complexity of what they can do and everything.
Yeah, I know back when I was at university, some people used to have them on their desks during lectures, but this is far beyond me.
Well, these days, I think people tend to use their phone much more up to date, or in the past it would be an MP3 capable thing where you do it as well. The little tape things, people don't really do that anymore. But yeah, it makes sense to use that to sort of use so you don't have to spend 24/7 observing a minor bird on the off chance it will actually say something. I don't think there's much more on Coop this time, is there? He's kind of...
His line. He said my favourite quote.
Okay. So, I don't know why he and Truman go to the diner other than, well, to set up the scene, and presumably they're just passing and Truman says, let's go check on Hank while we're here.
And to say the most perfect Cooper line of all time.
Would you like to say the most perfect Cooper line?
So here it is, in my opinion, the finest Agent Cooper quote. Harry, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Every day, once a day, give yourself a present. Don't plan it, don't wait for it, just let it happen. It could be a new shirt at the men's store, a catnap in your office chair, or 2 cups of good, hot, black coffee.
Yay. And we can't not acknowledge that there's a more modern version of this, which I'm going to suspect is a direct reference to Twin Peaks.
Which is what?
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself, yeah. From Parks and Rec.
From Parks and Rec. Especially given that one character who... I think he was actually in the cast at that point, because he gets to play Batman, doesn't he?
Oh yes, as part of Treat Yourself.
Treat Yourself. Since he's fixated on Twin Peaks in the series, almost certainly, it's a nod to Twin Peaks.
Yeah, true.
The weird spidery web of Twin Peaks influence. But yeah, I think that's the major Agent Cooper stuff. This one, isn't it?
I just think that's
It's a really lovely. It's a nice one.
It kind of fits in with Cooper's really positive philosophy as well. Of you should just do something. It's a bit like early self-care.
Yes.
You should do something really nice to make yourself happy once a day, and it doesn't have to be something big. I just want the Tao of Cooper.
I'm sure you could have a shot at it. Cooper will be, as we've noted, is a little bit inconsistent about what he adheres to, but yeah, I think that could work. But do you have anything else for Cooper?
No.
Other than the line of the episode?
No, just move on.
Truman, then. we don't think has an interesting bit of he confronts Josie.
Yes. About why she was at the motel.
Yes, and she does actually have a decent reason for it, which is Harry not being able to quite believe her about the account thing. But I think that might be might be Truman's whole bit.
Which is
over.
interesting because Truman buys it, but us as the viewers know that Josie's kind of double-crossing everyone.
Yes. Well, yeah, we don't know whose side Josie's on anymore.
Well, we don't know whose side any of them are on. They're all double-crossing each other, I think.
That's fair. I think that might be all of Truman. So, should we do the knot of Josie, Ben, Catherine, and Hank? Because I think they all just weave together at this point.
Yeah, sure. So this is everyone involved in possibly setting a mill on fire.
With the exception of Leo, who is also involved, but his stuff is kind of not really involved with at the moment. He's more connected back to Laura Palmer at this point. So we already knew that Josie had a connection with Hank. We still have no idea what that actually entails.
Other than she's kind of afraid of him. You don't see it as much in this episode,
No.
but previously she seemed quite unnerved by Hank.
Yes, where he was also psychic. Catherine, at least... So someone seems to have screwed up, though, because Catherine was never meant to see this insurance policy.
I think it was just the insurance adjuster going rogue, personally. Yeah. The fact that he figured out something was sus and has notified Catherine. For partially self-serving means there as well.
It's hard to ignore that this is the bureaucrat joke from Futurama. This is your form of fraternization with a co-worker. That was perfectly legal. Yes, but you stamped it 4 times. No, I was young. Which is the same on this one, though, because it's 5 signatures and he got 4. But yeah,
it was evidently hard to get a life insurance policy in America at one time.
Apparently so, or it's easy to take one out in someone else's name in a weird way.
Oh, you can take out a life insurance policy in anybody's name. That's how a lot of these insurance fraud cases work.
And I know it's a big corporation thing. They like to do it as well, which is really dubious. But yeah, no, so Catherine is now aware that she's not as in control as she thought she was, which is at least interesting to sort of reset the stakes at this point. Yeah, and isn't the implication the mill is about to catch fire, like, tonight?
It does look like everyone is converging to set the mill on fire.
At the same time. While everyone else is busy at One-Eye Jacks. I don't know, it's still the most soap opera-y thing, isn't it? The series is going for it.
Yeah, well, you've got a few other bits and pieces, like Leo and Shelley is very soap opera.
That's true. If only Shelley had done what Chet had done in Invitation to Love, and actually just shot.
As I said last time, double tap.
Yeah. She only shot him in the arm.
But she was like a foot away from him. How did she miss that target?
She did have her eyes closed at the time.
I think even with your eyes closed, you would have hit someone who was right in front of you.
Well, that's the dramatic irony, though, isn't it? We did remark that when you first see Leo in this episode, though, that he's spying on the house and watches Bobby arrive, and then gets ready to try and shoot Bobby with his injured arm, that he's not going to shoot anyone like that.
He's using a gun that clearly needs both of your hands, and he's one-handing it.
Yeah, though he does manage to take out Waldo with it, which is quite impressive.
To hit, well, a minor bird is a much smaller target than Bobby Briggs.
Yes.
Poor old Waldo.
Poor old Waldo, he didn't deserve that. And him being mistreated and left at the cabin for God knows how long after, 6 days.
And he'd evidently just started to cheer up enough because Doc Hayward said they only talk when they're happy.
Yeah.
So he was evidently just getting well enough to talk again.
Poor Waldo.
I don't like it when animals die.
No.
Which is weird when you've got an entire series that's framed around a teenage girl dying and the minor bird dies.
Yeah, it's very sad. Bobby and Shelley, though, are continuing their, almost Bonnie and Clyde type thing they've got going.
It is almost, isn't it? Yeah.
It's veering in that direction. Bobby is less prone to actually outright kill someone. I think we commented at the time that his vendetta against James feels out of the blue, given it's been so long since that was actually a factor.
He hasn't mentioned it for at least 4 episodes.
Since the funeral. The funeral was the last time it came up in any capacity. But yeah, it's quite odd to see him try to frame James by putting, we assume, cocaine in his fuel tank.
Yeah.
We assume.
Really, wouldn't that mess up your bike? I feel putting anything that big in a fuel tank would mess up your bike.
Well, it might do. I was thinking, because you did say at the time, Surely you wouldn't just drop it in. And you're probably correct. I mean, weirdly, the one I can think of is Akira, of all things.
But you've got no way to easily fish... If you were doing this to drug run, you'd have no way to easily get it back out. You'd have a high chance that oil, petrol, or diesel, or whatever it is going to leak into that and destroy it. You've also got a chance, I guess, if it ruptures of... It's like putting sugar in your petrol. It's just going to mess up your engine.
I'll say, in Akira, Kaneda actually has the pill in his gas tank at one point. But that's secured with a bit of tape on the inside.
Yeah, again, so you can easily fish it out.
Yeah. So that makes sense. We've got to be honest here, is that while Bobby is everyone's favourite character, and pretty clued in, he's not the brightest.
No, true.
He's done really questionable things in the past now. It might be enough, though, to cast doubt on James when inevitably it turns up.
True.
Because we don't know quite what he's meant to do with it. Though more interesting is what is going through his head when he sees Maddie dressed up like Laura.
Because he gets a good look at her as well.
He does get a good look at her. And it's one of these weird ones where it's enough to give everyone pause. And of course it's enough to give everyone pause, given she looks exactly the same.
I love the way they frame it with Dr. Jacoby as well, where they give him the VHS tape of her holding today's newspaper.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, hell. It's no wonder he goes flying out of there.
Yes. Well, news as well, it's like the critics' theory that she wasn't dead to begin with.
Yeah.
It's still an odd thing to have latched onto.
I discovered as well this time that, like, Laura is named for the movie Laura, which is about somebody very much not being dead.
Yeah.
Maddie's name comes from Vertigo. It's taken from the names of the two main characters.
Okay. Interesting. Which, given that one, Vertigo, spoilers, but it's even older than everything else, does involve a fake death and assuming of another personality. So, were they constantly feeding that?
It's either that or they wanted critics to think that.
Yeah, I suppose so. If you're in the know, it's not unheard of to reference Vertigo.
It's a lot like giving your fake name as the protagonist of the Scarlet Letter.
Yes.
It draws your attention to a certain place and a certain mode of thought.
That's true.
Interestingly, I learned some things about the writing of Twin Peaks while I was researching this episode, and one is that every episode, unlike a lot of series, are written sequentially, just because it allowed the next writer to build on the story of the last and add new elements to it in a cohesive way that wouldn't cause retcons.
Yeah, well, it's more soap opera-like than a lot of series.
Well, it's a bit like with the X-Files, where we questioned for a while if there was a Bible.
Yes.
And we did learn of the existence of the Bible. We had confirmation that it exists.
Yeah, not confirmation anyone looked at the thing, though.
Yeah.
I could swear that people aren't using that thing properly. Yes, it'll still be interesting to see what illness is in there, because it is a thing, I think, where Pokemon is actually one of the more recent examples of this. It's documented that there is stuff held at the Pokemon Company or something that has never made into any games, which is nonetheless dictating other parts of the franchise.
This isn't like some of that stuff that leaked last year as well that had very questionable content.
It might be, because it is the stuff they put out, they will put into things that is never meant to be public.
Yeah.
You have all kinds of things creeping in. Or the other one would be Miyazaki and FromSoft games. It's actually well recorded that he does know a lot of stuff that has never been outright said in the games. And I think they know that he tells it to the translators. The translators get more information than the audience ever does, because they've got to get the context of the lines right.
Of course, yeah.
So we know that a lot of these Bibles they're never published, but there's more information in there than ever is made public.
The other thing that's kind of interesting about the writing of Twin Peaks, though, is apparently for a single episode of a TV show, the standard length of a script is 60 to 120 pages.
Okay.
Would you like to guess how long Twin Peaks are?
I'm going to guess twice.
No.
Oh, less?
40 to 45 pages long.
Wow.
Because they left room for subtext to be added.
Ah, okay.
Which I thought was a curious way to write it.
That is. I wonder if that's going to hold true when Lynch is definitely not involved anymore.
Mm.
And then he comes back with a vengeance.
Yeah. It was commented the fact that Twin Peaks episode screen teleplays are actually remarkably short.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about James too much, but I think we have to.
Do you want to talk about them as a group? Because he's kind of lumped in with Donna and Maddie.
we're definitely hinting that James is going to do something stupid.
Well, he's already oddly fixated on Maddie despite knowing that she's not Laura.
Yeah. Putting her in a blonde wig and Laura's old clothes, and his brain, I think, is melting.
I like the fact that we left that outfit on. I presume it's so she didn't have to do a quick change to meet with Jacoby.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that they put it on to film the video and then just kept it on while she's making the phone conversation
Yeah,
and all the rest of it.
I'm not sure if she's meant to meet Jacoby at all. I think it actually meant to be entirely to get him out the house.
Which makes it even less explicable why she's still wearing the wig.
Yeah, well, it's a conflicting thing. We'll have to wait till next week, because the synopsis says that she wants to meet him at the gazebo. But we have actually no idea if that address is pointed to the gazebo at all.
No.
And at the same time, she's not going to last more than 10 seconds in person before he figures out that she's not Laura Palmer.
Well, he's a psychologist.
Well, I think, but most people, though, because she's a stranger to the town, anyone who has known Laura Palmer is going to pick up very quickly. She doesn't know what she needs to know.
Yeah.
Just to complete the references for the episode, it's like Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, you almost went 5 minutes without referencing Final Fantasy VII.
But it's a line from Tifa that always sticks with me. It's you knew things you shouldn't do and didn't know things you should. When she's talking about Cloud's return to Nibelheim. And that would be very much the case of Laura, Maddie as Laura, is that she would not know things very fast and you'd catch her out. So I don't think Jacoby's ever meant to reach her. But I think he has figured out where she actually is, and that's not where they were sending him. So that's going to be a problem.
Indeed.
And we have someone watching from the bushes.
We do. Which it should be, for noting in the future, apparently the Matrix people are using to assume who the killer is.
Yeah, I do object to this a bit of, I don't know how you're concluding that's got to be the killer.
We'll discuss it later. It's the second time, basically, the man in the shadows has appeared, because he was also at that drug meeting previously.
Well, we know who that one has to be, and it can't be this one because we know where the third person is.
Yeah. But of course, I'm still dubious at this stage they had any idea of who the killer was, so...
I mean, I find this is the modern assumption is that you have pre-planned everything. As I mentioned, Babylon 5 going before is one of the rare things where, by all accounts, it was planned out before it even began. Although some of that is because it's Lord of the Rings with some of the names changed.
I was working through the logic of people assuming that if you make the inference that the killer is male from the heavy breathing, you can narrow it down to just one person. And I refute this because I think based on what they're saying and based on who's at One-Eyed Jacks and stuff like that, you can narrow it down to about 6 people at this point. But again, it's a leap, and we will talk about it later.
To be fair, you kind of, as if you treat the log lady as honest, you already know it's got to be a man, because it's the third person at the cabin.
Does she say it's
she
the
says
third
it's
man?
a man.
Oh, it's
she
a man.
She said it's third
3
man.
men and 2 women, isn't it? Yeah.
So we already know it's male.
Yeah.
We don't know anything further than that. So it's not as much of a leap. Plus, I think of your female candidates, I don't think any of them actually would be capable of it.
Nadine, the whole time. It was always Nadine. She's freakishly strong, Nick.
She's freakishly strong. But she has nothing to do with Laura. It would be your counter-argument there.
I would love to step back in time because you have informed me that I guessed who the killer was quite early on. And I'd love to know what made me think it.
So would I, because I was... because the same friend who introduced me to Twin Peaks at the time and did sort of try to make out that you should be able to get it by episode 3, and I don't think you can. I think a lot of it, is the problem of it, the retrospect things, and if you buy into the whole, we had it planned out the entire time. Because I think this is going to be a big topic of discussion when we find out. I mean, in addition to, I don't think it was pre-planned, there's such a huge asterisk next to the killer reveal.
Yeah. Because
of how Twin Peaks works. I don't think you can even sort of really go down that angle either.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it. Suffice to say, a lot of it just seems to be marketing, and people love to claim they've written everything out in advance. Just a matter of course. George Lucas, who you inferred before, kept insisting there were 12 Star Wars films mapped. And no. Or there were, I think Indiana Jones was a trilogy when they made Raiders.
Yeah.
And then if you watch any of the documentaries, it's a case of So then we had to write Indiana Jones' Temple of Doom. So we've got these other people in to write it for us. It's like, you didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
But yes, we have Donna, James, and Maddie doing the dangerous game. I still don't quite understand why Audrey isn't part of their little group. She's off doing her femme fatale thing, but really they should be on the same side.
But this is purely so they can search Dr. Jacoby's house.
Yes.
Which they get access to right at the end, and we don't know where that's leading to yet.
Yes. And we've also had an inference of the coconuts. There's a chance they're going to find the locket, which is... I don't know what's going to come of this.
Yeah.
I can't remember where on earth this will go. But they're playing with fire in a way that some of the ones aren't. Because it's really... I don't know, is it... I suppose if they think... Do they actually think Jacoby's the killer? Because it's like, it's not fun what they're doing to him.
No. They certainly
It's cruel.
think that he knows something because of the tapes referencing their sessions.
But aside from it, if it's definitely his house luring him out of, but there's still, it feels like really pointed to make Maddie look like Laura and then sort of taunt him that she's still around.
Yeah, true. I think it's not necessarily that he's the killer, it's just maybe that they know Laura's got secrets and who's likely to have recordings of this? Her psychologist.
Yeah. Although you rapidly into the whole, yeah, Laura probably did tell the psychologist stuff that she doesn't tell her best friends. Donna gets the tape back and it's basically just a 1 hour and a half hour thing of complaining about Donna, what Donna did today. And oh my god, she was sucking the soup through her teeth all through lunch.
And then I said this, but then Donna said that. Yeah.
Laura doesn't seem like a typical teenager, though.
She very much isn't.
But I mean, a lot of that has to be... It's rosy-coloured memories for start, for like the very brief glimpses we've actually had of her. And she's deified anyway.
Well, and from what we've seen of Laura Palmer's notes and her darkness, she has been touched by the dark heart of Twin Peaks. You know, she's seen what's anomalous, basically.
Yes, she knows how the plates are kept spinning.
Yeah.
And we've made the point a load of times she either had the capacity to go either way, or she would have been a force of light the darkness has snuffed out.
Mm.
It seems like her death wasn't accidental at all. It was a conscious choice by supernatural forces, as far as we can tell. I'm not sure if we ever get a clear answer to why she was killed.
We will see.
We will see. I really can't remember if they actually get into the reasoning behind it eventually. But it's, and again, as you said on the first episode, this is never meant to be the focus. It's all, she's a MacGuffin to keep everything running. She was never actually meant to get as much focus as she does. We could talk about Nadine.
She didn't get her patent. It was thrown out.
I like it. It's kind of nice how subtly they've done it, where we know exactly, they don't even have to explain too much about it, but it's like, it was also a foregone conclusion. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that this happened to her.
Oh, poor Nadine.
No. For Nadine, it's very sad for Nadine. But for most people watching, are going to say, yeah, no one cares about Silent Draper Runners. I know.
I care.
Do you want to buy Silent Draper Runners?
If it supports Nadine, yes,
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
Nadine is precious.
She is precious. She's also mentally unwell, as Ed said last time.
But she's so much fun.
She is.
I love the fact that you never know how Nadine's going to react in any scene.
Yeah, and it's kind of, it's odd that Ed doesn't even say anything like, I'm very sorry you're upset, Nadine. I've got to go on a secret mission across the border. Or why you dress up like that, Ed? It just goes by the wayside while she's eating chocolate or bonbons.
But that's kind of part of what Nadine is Nadine is obsessively fixated on loving Ed, but she's also wholly self-centered.
Yes.
So she doesn't really acknowledge Ed. That's why Ed is completely emotionally neglected in this relationship. Nadine just is completely selfish.
Yes.
And is wonderful, but is completely selfish.
Unfortunately, I think that's her only bit in this episode, but
Sadly so.
sadly so. She'll get more to do later.
I know, I've got very little Nadine and no Log Lady. It's a bad episode.
I know. I didn't basically know Norma either. Although...
she got a little brief bit at the diner.
Yes, and Hank has picked up that Big Ed is a presence in her life.
I mean, the way the two of them look at each other, quite obvious.
It's whether Hank knows that, though.
Yeah.
Shelley at least seems to be sort of... I think, Shelley knows exactly what's going on, and she's sort of presumably trying not to give the game away.
Yeah.
we got Lucy's subplot, which is
I think you can read some things between the lines of Lucy's subplot.
we can read some things, but it's one of the it's also kind of insane because we've got Andy's inability to perform in conjunction with Lucy's disappointing test results. So it would point, if Andy can't perform, then why did you think? It's set up for something else. I know. It's heading somewhere.
It's a very soap opera plot.
It's heading somewhere. Not sure when the other components of that will come into play, but we know it. There's a reason this has been set up. It's still slightly baffling to me because, and it'd be interesting still when we get to the pilot of, as much as Andy and Lucy is very much implied to be a thing, they don't feel adult enough. They feel very childlike, both of them.
Both of them
They're
are, in fact.
very
yeah.
innocent, in a way.
Andy more so than Lucy, but still.
It's not all. It just doesn't feel like an adult relationship with them.
Yeah.
It's really odd. Hawk didn't do much. He was kind of there.
I'm not sure anyone really got focus other than that in the episode.
No, it's kind of a biddy one again.
It's because everyone's kind of looped together. They're either in the we're going to burn down the mill plot or we're all converging on one-eyed Jacks.
Yes. Suppose we didn't talk about Ben and Jerry much. And as you said, they're eating ice cream.
They're eating ice cream!
I can only imagine that this made nothing to me the first time I watched it because I don't know if Ben and Jerry's had a foothold in this country yet.
It's one of those things is Ben and Jerry's was something we'd heard of. A lot like Baskin Robbins as well, I've only recently seen pop up in London.
Yeah.
But they're these things that we heard of from American shows and we just never had them. I will say, critics of this one, in terms of viewing figures, of course, we're still on the decline. Every episode's being viewed, as you would expect, really. Slightly less than the one before, especially in a series like Twin Peaks.
It can vary quite wildly with these things.
The critical score for this was actually pretty good, though. And one of the things that a lot of them picked up on was Waldo the Minor Bird, which they said on paper sounds like it should be something very silly, but it's actually chilling.
Yeah, it does work very nicely. I think it's the choice of the voice and what it's saying.
Yeah, it is indeed Laura Palmer voicing over Waldo, of course, to get that tone. But also what she's saying with the things like, it hurts, Leo, stop, and things. It's actually really, really effective.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, these days, of course, it can't help but make you think of Ace Attorney in any one of its incarnations, because most of them have the plot line.
So this is the Phoenix Wright game series and absolutely flipping amazing Takeshi Miike live-action movie.
Yes.
Which everybody should see. Because it's a perfect film.
I don't know if it's actually licensed. It's one of the odd ones. I don't know if you can actually get it legitimately or not. But
if you can get hold of it, you need to see it. But yes, there is a very famous case in Phoenix Wright. Because Phoenix Wright, I could do an entire podcast on how the legal system works in Phoenix Wright because it's ridiculous. But Phoenix Wright himself is a defense attorney, and there is one particular case where he brings a talking parrot on the stand as a witness, which it does indeed show in the live-action movie, so that's the best way to see it if you don't play video games.
And like so many things, we'll have to assume that this is only there because someone involved in Phoenix Wright like Twin Peaks.
I think it's a large assumption. I didn't realise it was prevalent in Japan until I read earlier today that Diamond is Unbreakable, which is the 4th season of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, is reportedly inspired by Twin Peaks. And when you break it down of it being a small town soap opera where you're kind of drawn into it by a murder, but the interest is actually the interconnectedness of the cast. It's like, and even the crest has an owl and a Douglas fir on it. It's like, wait.
Yeah, we just went right by that without thinking.
Mm.
I would say put a pin in that, but please don't look into it much more because I want to surprise you with something.
Okay.
In terms of Japan and Twin Peaks, I want to do live.
Okay. I won't read any more into how Japan has been influenced by Twin Peaks because evidently it's made it over there.
Oh, it did, and in a way, I'm glad you don't know about because I really want to see your reaction to this because it's one of those. Wait, what? Really? I suppose that makes sense, but really?
I can't wait. I've seen so many interesting things this week because of Twin Peaks Day.
Oh, yeah. This one is, I was alerted to it thanks to Grimbeard again.
I even got to see, actually, I presume, I saw it on YouTube, in fact, so it is on YouTube in full. The Saturday Night Live sketch with Carl McLaughlin is just Perfect chef's kiss.
Well, yes, don't they come up to a very logical solution to the whole puzzle? That's wrong, but anyway, it's very logical.
Yeah. I mean, Leo did it. Easy. Done.
Yeah, although it's clear that the writers don't want it to be that, given the blood on the jacket is Jacques, so immediately things are getting skewy. Okay, so next time we have the final episode of season 1. And to break from format, we aren't going to do any kind of best or worst episodes, because how can you even start to rank these things? It doesn't work.
It should note as well that these seasons aren't equally weighted. Season 2 is much longer than season 1.
Yes.
So the next episode will be The Last Evening.
If you'd like to get hold of us, though, our email address is thingsagainstrange42@gmail.com.
You can also find us on social media, and please do hook me up if you'd like me to present anything at the start of this show. As always, if it is X-Files, Garth Marenghi, or Twin Peaks related. You can find us on Blue Sky and Tumblr at GetStrange42, or on Facebook by searching for Things Are Getting Stranger Twin Peaks Rewatch Podcast. Also, if you're not sick of my voice right now, I do stream live on Twitch TV, Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 PM GMT and Saturdays at 5 PM GMT, under the name AdverseCamber42. At the moment, I am playing Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name on PlayStation 5, Kingdom Hearts Re: Chain of Memories on PlayStation 4, and Dead Letter Department on Steam.
Our theme music is a vision by Kevin MacLeod. You can find it on Compotech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. Thank you all for listening. Until next time, please remember...
What I want and what I need are two different things.